Hello everybody, this is Spunkify here, and I'm happy today to bring you a game from the WCG tournament that's currently going on, presented by Riot. This is a qualifier match game between DIN0 and Second Blood. This is the second match of two, and I believe DIN0 had already won the beginning match, so this one right here would actually clutch them for the win. On their team they have an Annie, Heimer, Garen, Nidalee, and Tristana. And on Second Blood's team, they had Ezreal, Soraka, Alistar, Blitzcrank, and Pantheon. The bans were Shaco, Shen, Taric, and Amumu. And we're just going to go ahead now and just actually start this game here. Sorry for the no loading screen view. This is actually how it was sent to me. The presentation will be from Annie's perspective, which is Fogojam or Fogojam. I forget, I can't actually see it at the moment. But he is actually going with a Doran's Ring and 1 HP pot, which is kind of typical for Annie if they want the extra HP at the beginning. I myself, I go for a Mana Crystal and 2 HP pots, and sometimes a Ruby, just a Ruby Crystal, and just rely on last hitting with my Q to maintain my mana levels. But Doran's Ring definitely helps out with that early AP, and can certainly pay for itself if you end up getting first blood or just even a double kill sometimes at lower levels. It pays for that Doran's Ring really quickly. So it looks like here they are going to be going into the jungle. Make sure there isn't any kind of shenanigans going on here starting out. They may be going for this creep camp right here, which does spawn double golem. So Eclipse may end up tanking that and then going for that. But they're just going to be hanging back here a little bit. They don't have, the other team, Second Blood, doesn't have a individual who can actually jungle, so I'm not sure exactly why they are hanging out here other than to get those two creep camps, like I said, or that one creep camp with the two double golems. So it looks like they're just doing some early scouting there. And he is picking up here Q, which is Disintegrate as level 1. That's pretty standard. It helps really well with farming, since it doesn't cost mana if you do land a last hit with it. And of course, with her passive, you can, with 5 minion kills, you can rack up a stun pretty early. And yes, they are going to be going for a double golem before the actual creeps get there. And this is gives them about half a level, I believe. And there, Annie just missing the last hit with that. And they need to be careful because Eclipse is taking quite a bit of damage from that golem there, and he's having to actually pop one of his HP pots that early. So it's going to really come into play here, depending on how aggressive their teammates are. And if you look on the minimap, you can see that their teammates are Soraka and Ezreal. So there will be some pressure, no doubt, applied by Ezreal. Soraka, with her last hitting abilities, or sorry, with her auto attacking abilities from far range, can actually provide some decent harassment herself. Although it won't be the same as Ezreal's Q, which is actually pretty long distance. So Eclipse does need to watch out a little bit. He will not be able to farm as much as possible, but he is actually compensating by putting in some early harassment on that Soraka there, which is Safir versus Mormn. That's the Ezreal, sporting the new skin by Ezreal. Annie, of course, sporting the Little Red Riding Hood skin. So definitely an interesting skin makeup there. And looks like Soraka is sporting her skin as well. I actually don't remember what that's called. But getting a good look at this team here. From this lane, I definitely would say high damage output from the Ezreal and the Soraka is probably not likely. They probably will play a little passive. They will try to last hit, like you see there. Actually, not last hit, but harass a little bit. But I don't think they'll actually go, charging in there to try to get a first blood kill, simply because Annie's ability to stun that quickly, and then with the whirlwind ability from Eclipse, that would definitely spell trouble. But you see the Soraka there; she's actually keeps hitting Eclipse with a silence. That's not really to do much damage or to keep him from using his abilities, but rather it's to prevent him from actually his passive from kicking in, which restores part of his HP after a duration of time where he doesn't take any damage. So good job by Soraka there to actually try to prevent him from regenerating too much HP. And right now, yes, just the early phases. I did just now get a glimpse at the Ezreal. He does have a Doran's sword and 1 HP pot, so that extra little bit of damage, life steal, and then of course HP will definitely help him, and it'll be really tricky to kill him, not only because of his escape ability to actually flash away with his E, but also just because Soraka is there and always will enable him to have some HP. And so right there, as you can see, Eclipse actually ended up taking more damage from trying to go in there and Whirlwind rather than that Ezreal, simply because he's able to flash away and then get healed up by Soraka. So now Annie's putting a little pressure on. She does have a stun up. We will see if she actually tries to use this here. I would say right now it would be almost a waste. Yeah, she doesn't actually use that on somebody. It would be a waste to use that stun, or to wait for to use that stun rather, simply because right now it's so crucial to get those last hits. And she's doing a remarkably good job of getting those last hits with Q and just with an art attack. Annie has a super long range auto attack. And if she actually manages to miss it with her Q, she can just auto attack that from a far enough range away to actually get that kill in. So Annie definitely doing a good job of securing some last hits. She's probably hitting about 3/4 of the ones she's going for. So right now she's sitting at 782 gold, so not doing bad at all. And I'm curious to see what her first item will be going back. She obviously could get her boots, and I would say probably work on a Rod of Ages just for the extra HP bump, and then of course the mana and ability power over time. I definitely go for that early, just because it really makes Annie that much tankier with their E. But they are pushing up some. They I would say, want to make sure they move back just a bit. They are kind of overextending a bit, and because their Pantheon on the enemy team is mid lane, he will end up hitting 6 here pretty soon, and when that happens, if they're too far extended, Pantheon can then ultimate on top of them. Oh, and we have first blood from Dead Myth as Alistar. He did actually kill Heimer, which was unfortunate. Heimer is such a great turtler that it's really hard sometimes to actually kill him just because he can sit behind his turrets. But there is some action going on here. I don't know what I don't know what Soraka was doing, but oh, she is going to go down to Annie. For no reason that Soraka ended up pushing up there and trying to do some early harassment. She doesn't have the burst capabilities to take down Garen at that low level. She was completely out of place there. I don't know if it was a misclick, but she definitely paid for it and almost got away. But in the end, Flash with Annie combo just definitely took her out. So Annie's getting a little bit of momentum there. She's now up to 1,358 gold, which is going to provide her with, let's say, a boots and then also a catalyst if that's what she was going to go for. Or boots and a Soul Stealer if that's her next item, just depending on how this next few team fights go, or really fights go in the lanes. If she gets enough momentum, investing in a Soul Stealer would definitely be worth it. But now they're playing a little passive. Eclipse is actually regening now. As you notice, he was down to about a bar and a half, and since not taking any damage, he's now up to about halfway. And they're nearing level 6. They got about a quarter left before they hit level 6. So definitely making some progress there. And Soraka should be coming back in the lane fairly shortly. But she's going to have to watch out because she'll probably be about level 4. And they will actually be coming close to level 6. And she's actually way overdue. I would have expected her to at least show herself now. In fact, Ezreal is now MIA too, so I would definitely check out mid as well. Although he was kind of low on mana, so it would be... Oh, there is the Soraka. But Ezreal is still MIA. He may have come back, but I would put my money on him trying to go to middle lane to try to kill Nidalee, because Nidalee is a great middle lane up. But no, it looks like he just went to base and came back, and Nidalee ended up killing Pantheon. Nidalee is a great middle laner. She has ability to heal, has a great little nuke if you can hit it from long range with her spear, and her ability to farm creeps by going into Cougar form is definitely one of her strong points there. And it looks like Ezreal did come back with a double Doran's Ring, and he did just ultimate, so it looks like middle lane needs to be careful, because she can end up getting hit by that ultimate, and then also clearing those creeps. And when that happens, the tower then will focus her. But it's not uncommon to all the time to see an Ezreal get double Doran's, just simply because that's extra damage and the extra HP. But really, when you get double at that point, you really got to make something happen with it. Otherwise, it's pretty much useless. But there is a team fight breaking up. Nidalee did come from middle lane, and they are going to get Soraka again. Annie is taking fire from the tower, so she does need to back up. Luckily, Tibbers is there to soak up those extra attacks. That's one thing good about Annie is if you tower dive with Annie, oh, there is a Pantheon dropping down, but he is way out of place. 3 characters right there, and he is going to get focused down quite effectively. It was not a good idea. Even though they were about a quarter to half HP, it's not a good idea to go 1v3 just simply because of the silence from Garen. And then, of course, the another stun from Annie as well. And it looks like, yes, she did get a I cannot talk today. Soul Stealer. And she's stocking up on some HP pots. I don't really agree with the mana pots. In my opinion, she's not going to run out of mana if she uses it effectively with a Q. But I would say that a ward is definitely in place simply because you can ward, like right now she's going to ward Dragon. Because as a competitive, you do not, that's one huge thing is the global XP and the global money from Dragon may not seem like that much, but it is definitely useful. And you did, I did forget to get to mention this, you did just see top lane go down to Blitzcrank and Alistar. Blitzcrank, Alistar. That combo is actually very deadly if Blitzcrank is good and actually can get his pulls off, because that is such a disable. You have the Blitzcrank grab, which is a disable, then you have the knockup, which is a disable, and then you have Alistar, who just pounds you in the ground and kicks you around, and essentially you're disabled for like 4 to 5 seconds. And especially if they do it near a tower, and then you have the tower damage as well. So that Tristana did fall to that Blitzcrank. And you see Blitzcrank sporting that rusty golem skin as well, which you don't see a lot of players with that because it no longer is on sale. But Pantheon is back here in middle lane now, and it looks like Nidalee is farming the lizard, the enemy team's lizard, which is a good idea, not letting that Pantheon secure that. And Tristana did rotate down bottom, so now up top is only Heimer. And Heimer should be worried because Pantheon is MIA at this time, and Pantheon could come up from, they have no ward in the lake lane, or not lake lane, I forget what it's called. In the river. I am having a blank today. And yep, this, like I said, he did end up coming up from that river, and they actually did end up losing that. Oh, and Nidalee, nice rocket grab by Blitzcrank. But Nidalee is going to be able to get away. She was able to jump and then heal herself. And now she's in a position to actually move up and possibly do some damage to that Alistar. But like I said, they really need to be careful. And actually now Nidalee's in a bad spot. Oh, she actually did get the kill on Alistar with that spear. And now Blitzcrank's going to fall as well with that Q. So definitely, that Nidalee definitely showing some expert skill there in taking down that Alistar in a circumstance where she could have herself died to the Blitzcrank.